Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome to the Design Lab. I'm Adam, and today I've got a special treat for you. We're looking at the world of Archie, sort of. This is a not published by Archie. I don't know how this was published. It says Spire Christian Comics. So I don't know if Archie published it for them or if they kind of just licensed it out to Spire. And but apparently this was some Christian comic company or something, and they made this Archie comic. So I had to get my hands on this. This looks so weird, and it was. It was very confusing, and I don't know what you're gonna make of it. Let's take a look at the cover first. Very weird cover. It's like so confusing. Like it breaks so many design rules. I think. The top half is pretty good. The title and the sunshine. I thought that part works, but then the bottom half is just like, it's like, what is happening? What's going on? Archie's just kind of like over here on the side. Uh, Betty is in the front, and she's just looking happy, like she should be saying something, but she isn't. There's like a giant UFO blocking half of the page. Veronica's looking happy down here. Reggie and I don't know all the. I'm not a super knowledgeable of the Archie universe. I've read enough Archie though to know kind of who these characters are, and they're at the beach and something's happening. And this guy in the back is falling off his surfboard. So and then also the most prominent thing maybe is this woman or girl. I don't know who she is. I've never seen her before in an Archie comic. She's lonely apparently. And I guess that's, the irony is that she's surrounded by millions of people at the beach. Okay, let's get into this thing. It's some kind of an ad for Archie Comics. Let's move on. Okay, so it begins there at the beach, and I think this guy's the principal. I forget his name. Dithers or something, Smithers. And he's complaining about the swimsuits nowadays, which old men nowadays have never complained about swimsuits. They never no. I don't know if any man has ever complained about swimsuits being too revealing, but apparently this guy is complaining about it until he finds the teachers dressed like the Wizard of Oz, witches apparently. These don't even look like swimsuits. They're wearing like shoes and stuff, and the expressions on the girls around them, like Veronica, is just like she's like laughing inside and crying at the same moment, and then all of a sudden we get these random Bible paraphrasing, let's not criticize each other, which doesn't actually occur in the Bible, but if you go to Romans 14:13, you'll get something like that. Okay, sorry, I had an interruption if you didn't notice the jump cut. Anyways, moving on, all of a sudden Archie arrives with Jughead. Jughead's crown, I haven't read enough Archie, like I said, but his crown is just constantly flying off his head. That's his one signature move is his crown flies off, or he's eating something apparently, and they're really bummed out. I have to use kind of like 70s slangs. I think, when did this come out, by the way? I think it's the 70s, 1974, I guess, down at the bottom. Okay, so 74. This is kind of like reaction to the hippie era. It's like saying like, no, hippie era wrong. Varum. So they're chugging along on the beach. They go on the water. It's totally stupid. I can't imagine what like an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old who got this comic, what they would make of it. I have no idea. It's just like, it's not funny. It's not like, there's no suspense. There's no real drive to the story. It's just like revealing their characters. Like Jughead likes to eat. Archie likes girls. They both have a strong survival instinct. It just moves in different directions. And women like clothes. Here's what's her name? Veronica. Got really big tits, huh? I don't know this guy. He's this sunburnt guy. His characteristic is that he's dumb. That's his trademark. Everybody's kind of sunburnt. It should have been more of like a anti-skin cancer ad. Except Reggie. Reggie is apparently just kind of a jerk and rich. Maybe, I think. I don't know. Does he have a cell phone? What's in his hand? Oh, it's like a mirror or something. Okay, it's not a cell phone. 1974. Anyways, yeah. So at this point, there's not much like Christian ideas, but every now and then they'll interject a little thing like the principal's getting totally pissed off. I'm glad no one knows my thoughts right now. The Lord knows every thought. See Chronicles 28:3. I think that's 3. It's hard to read. 28:9, I guess. Yeah, so there's some games, and then we get a throwaway character that's basically just introduced to kind of, have a narrative arc. Her name's Ethel, apparently, and Betty is being real nice and hanging out with her for some reason. I guess in the winter, Ethel had to shiver through the winter because she was cold, and then she had to push the car because she wasn't popular, so they made her push the car. Basically, because of her teeth, she's not cool. So she's looking for a boy, obviously, and she believes in miracles. And then this guy comes along, and who this guy is? he's kind of like, seems like he's Jesus or something, but then he's not. He's just like, he drives the Love Mobile, which is very very hippie, like 60s. Who's that guy on who was like a Top of the Pops guy in the British? He would host the Top of the Pops show, but he was like in his 50s, and then he had like this van where he lured tons and tons of girls to. I forget his name. Somebody let me know in the comments. That's who this guy reminded me of, this kind of pseudo Jesus, hippie Jesus. Seems kind of like somebody out of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then there's a dilemma because they've only got 2 Cokes and 5 sandwiches. How are we going to feed all the people? And pseudo Jesus, hippie Jesus says like, just pass them around, kind of like passing a blunt. He's passing food and Coke. And I'm trying to remember, he looks like some actor from the 60s or 70s, like maybe Michael Landon. I don't know. So anyways, he just starts saying like a lot of Jesus quotes and stuff. Just hang in there, dude. Like this girl's like saying, but it's hard staying clean today. They don't talk about drugs. They just kind of show pictures of drugs. But apparently people are yelling at her for going to church, which happens all the time. We're not. It's like, this guy's like, why don't you do drugs? And she's like, no. Don't hit people, etc. Pray for your enemies. So I guess kids reading this will be like, you want all this stuff, don't you? Jughead, he just wants food. He's like a dinosaur. He just loves food. I don't know if that. I guess kids can relate to Jughead because kids like food. They're not really into, like, if before they're into like girls or boys, whatever, and before they're like old enough to like get violent or whatever, whatever kids do, they just want food. That's all. That's like their primary drive: food and fun, video games and food. And then Liberace's introduced for some reason to let people know that flowers are better than Liberace. And every now and then Betty just kind of stares into the camera to freak you out a little. Just trust him, you'll see. Betty's just like, dun. And Reggie's surfing, yelling. Reggie, he's just interested in like money and power. He's just like, I don't know what his primary drives are. And then we learn about controlling your tongue, controlling your mouth. Don't talk, Archie. 'Cause apparently kids need to be told to shut up. It's like, it's a very odd comic. Cat got your tongue? No, I think God did. So Reggie never talked again after that. Let your conversation be gracious. And then we get this character, who's another throwaway character who basically is going to match up with Ethel. And weird puzzle page, just a bunch of things that are happening that shouldn't be happening, like pizza on a raft in the middle of the ocean. I don't know what, and rocking chair on the beach. I don't know what this is for. Like, what is the point of this? I guess it's for really dumb kids, like really young kids, not dumb kids. So the hippie kids are like saying, hey, your religion's no fun. It's just a big bottle of no. And then The son will. They don't really talk about Jesus. Like, I mean, they don't really show him. They just, so like if you're a kid and you don't know who Jesus is, like you're like, who's Jesus? It's just like kind of referred to in this weird, abstract way, and people that aren't, they're basically doing drugs, drinking pills, and watching skin flicks and reading magazines that are called porno magazine. I think this one says Hey Boy magazine. It's like Playboy or Hey Boy, I guess. Or you can read in the newspaper, murder, divorce, murder, suicide, crime. So basically Ethel, she's like, okay, I love this. I'm going to totally preach to everyone. Archie's like, don't do it, Ethel. But she does it anyways. And as she's going around preaching, she meets another nerdy kind of outsider guy, but he's also into Jesus. He's got what does it say on his shirt? It says, one way. That sounds like I don't know, it sounds like a kind of a political like motto or something. And then randomly, this guy brings a fridge to the beach with food because he's so stupid he doesn't realize that if you bring a fridge to the food, it needs to be plugged in. And Jughead, he's just devastated. What a tragedy! What an atrocity! All this wasted food. It's like steaming. It's like a big. I don't know if that would actually happen. I think if you kept the fridge closed, it would be better than, obviously you left it out in the sun for a while. Eventually you'd have steaming food, but I think they're exaggerating the point. And then, hippie Jesus in the background is like, that's the way it is with lives. We're not connected to the real source of life. Our lives will be wasted, like rotten hot dogs in a fridge on a beach. And then he takes off after delivering his message, and everybody's happy. Look at all the legs. Betty and Veronica have really nice legs, you got to admit. Okay, and then that's the end. And then they're happy because they've met each other. They totally forget about Jesus. They just, they're into each other now. And wasn't this guy totally sunburned earlier? I think a lot of sunburnt. Everybody was sunburned earlier, and now nobody's sunburnt. It's bizarre. That's the weirdest thing about this comic. So anyways, from 1974, Archie's Sunshine. Sun, S-O-N. A little pun there. Hope you enjoy it.